Hey, welcome to the Really Charlie podcast. Today is a special podcast because I got my fam right here. Somebody I'm very proud of. Very proud of. Everything that he's doing is just something I would love to do. He just amazes me every single, let me say, every single month he's doing something. I'm creeping on his page just to check out to see what he's doing. And as I do those things, all of a sudden I get a message, boom, hey, let's do a podcast. And you know what? Anytime he requests a podcast, I request a podcast, he's available for me. I'm available for him. And that's how we do it. We support each other. And I try to tell everybody all the time, please stop liking things people are doing. Share everything that someone's doing on their content pages because like is just a like. It's just a blue thumbs up. And you know what? You have to start sharing everybody's content because it's very important because it goes to another audience. It's real important, you know. And so, without further ado, Ali DeSousa, the author, writer, actor, my hero of Coherence. What's going on, brother?
Primo, thank you so much for having me on. Family. It's great. I'm glad to be on again. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, and you know what? Y'all, I know you're too busy, but I don't have any problem just talking to you every single week. When it comes to, I'm doing a podcast every week, and you know what? If you're on the comments, and I don't care if it's 10, 20 seconds, any word from you is real special, and
Oh, that's so kind, Charlie. Thank
so
you, man.
if you know I'm on the air, just I don't care who it is. It could be the governor. You know what? And just click invite me in the comment section. I'll send you the link and we're gonna put you on the screen.
Okay, all right. Sounds good. That's a nice invitation.
Yeah,
Thank
anytime.
you.
Anytime. You can represent me and I don't care what you say on it. I'm gonna support you 100%,
Oh,
110%.
we try to.
Um so we got you doing a new project, and you're already finished with it, and it's coherence. 12 gateways of consciousness. You know what? With me in syllables, I'm gonna mess up a word here and there. You know what? And you come
Me,
and correct me. All
me
right.
too. Me too.
um. So let me off the script. What inspired you to do this? Um. What triggered it? What was the brainstorm behind coherence?
Well, thank you for asking. And coherence is actually part of what they call the human-centric trilogy. I've been on a writing fervor now since 2020, but it's really a culmination of life experience, my own research, meditations as a quantum theorist, as a meditator, as a person, going through this experience and learning. And but as we came into this really critical time with what's going on worldwide
Mhm.
in our nation, this chaos, this insanity, I said,
Yes.
what can I do to help? So I meditate on that. I pray on that. What can I do to help? And how can I be a part? Because we see that people who are in control of certain things have no bounds of what they will do, you
Hmm.
know? And so I said, the only thing is to turn to really the spiritual traditions that we know as far back as we can go. So I started looking back all the way to the 42 laws of MAAT. I looked at many ancient indigenous traditions from the Wara people, the Aboriginal people, the Ubuntu of Africa. I just kept looking at those things because that was the beginning of our understandings. And so they have to still be relevant. And I came forward even into the modern religions and looked at those things and was synthesizing those to myself. But ultimately, it said in 2003, I wrote a book called Becoming Human, Being Human. And I've been on that same kind of wave how do I become a better human being? What do I need to do to improve myself? And the introspection. And it came to me that the systems that we have fail because we're of the same consciousness. We're of the same mind and heart, not meaning each individual, but collectively. And we can see that now clearly. And when we look at things, people who have been on the other side of things, who have been considered not part of the mainstream, those who were 2/3 of a person or half a person or not a person, all those things that oppress people over the founding of this country never really left. And when we tell people those things, they wouldn't believe it. But now it's been made apparent, made very apparent that there's, so as much as we do have to do political solutions to some extent, those political solutions are not going to be the correct solution if there's not a change of consciousness. They will always just be band-aids. But now it's so upside down, people are thinking about it. And so I do theta meditation. I have a lot of visions. I mostly write, whether it's music, film, script, whatever, from a stream of consciousness. And so these books just started pouring forth and pouring forth. And sometimes it was exhausting, but the whole theme of it came together really heavy in 2012. So in 2012, I was sleeping and I woke up with this start because I had a dream. I call it the origin story of human centric. It was a black void and these silver 3-dimensional letters were tumbling and tumbling and tumbling around. And then eventually they went across the screen. They spelled human centric. I woke up with a start. Boom. I have a lot of prolific dreams, but this was very different because it was just a black void and there were these letters. I'm like, wow. So I get up, I went to the restroom, came back, said, I'm still tired, I'm going to sleep. I had the dream again, even more powerful. And this time the letters arranged themselves vertically. And I'm just looking at it and I said, well, what is this word? So I rolled out of bed, went over to the computer, and I started searching every dictionary source that I could find. The word didn't exist. It wasn't in Oxford. It wasn't in any dictionary that I looked at, Webster's, anyone. I said, wow, how can that word not exist? It's so obvious to me, human-centric. So I had that dream. It had a profound effect. The very next evening, I was going out with a friend to a kind of local club. And, we were rehearsing for a movie. So we decided we wanted to do something challenging to stay in character. So we decided we were going to go to the club and we were going to speak German the whole night. We're going to use German and speak German just to see if we could pull it off. So we started doing that. We're at the bar, and him and I talking back and forth in German with German accent. And there was a woman next to me. She got enthralled to say, I'm sure people said, this guy, look at this way. He's talking German, but that boy, he doesn't look German either. Well, he looks more German than you. So eventually, I told Rob I was tired of doing it. I said, I just want to talk to this lady. And I told her, I'm not German. We're just doing this because we're actors. I gave up the game. I said, it's been long enough. So we should start chit-chatting. And somehow something she said cued me to speak about the dream. Her name was Trish. I can't think of her last name. But Trish said to me, she goes, you ought to, I told her about the word. And she goes, what does it mean to you? So I started going on and on and on and on, all the streams coming through about the word. And she goes, you need to put that in the Urban Dictionary. I go, what's that? She goes, oh, I've been trying to get a word in for 3 years. So it's difficult, but you should do it. This is really important. So we met the next day, I think, for coffee, or the day after, whatever it was. We met again for coffee. And I had written everything out, just like it was in the dictionary. And she would tell me how to submit it. So I submitted it. And she helped me. So the information came back to her and she gave me a call. She goes, oh, that's great. I've tried for 3 years. You've got your answer in 3 days. It's in the dictionary.
Wow.
So if you go to the Urban Dictionary and type in human-centric, Ali DeSousa, it'll pop up. It was June, I think, 27, 2012.
Awesome.
So it's actually in there. There's a definition for it, but it's an acrostic. It's an acronym or an acrostic when it's not word for word straight line. So, and it defines a framework of how I've been doing my effort to live my life and get better and better at it. And it kept growing from there since 2012. So now it's the whole human-centric trilogy. And there's actually, I think I've done a total of, we're going to release 3 this year, but I think it's a total of 11 books. But one of the key things is that we start listening to our heart. It's very interesting. if someone's a Christian, they're talking about the Beatitudes from the Bible and the heart of Christ and how we served and all these things. We don't hear that much from some of the Christian stuff that's coming out of Washington, D.C., the people who support that. But
Yeah.
that's what I remember from that. And there's also something Muhammad said that if there's a heart of a being, if it's good, they're good. If it's corrupt, they're corrupt. And they said, people asked him, he said, it's the heart. So what
Mhm.
I don't think we're not talking about a physical heart. I believe he's talking about consciousness. It's how we think and who we relate to, how we frequency and what we vibrate in the world, how when we go, what energies are around us. And so that's where I've been delving. And so that's where the concept of human-centric came from.
Human centric. And Eva Brito is on the screen.
Yeah.
She says,
You could,
"Peace, family." Um, Listen. The the amazing thing with dreams is a lot of people don't know is that they have meaning to them, right? And it's. I love the fact that that dream came to you twice, two different ways it seems, and for you to have all this come to fruition. It's right here. It's concrete. It's reality. It's not a dream anymore. It's boom. It's right there in front of us. How do you feel about that?
cousin, I spent a lot of time weeping, honest to goodness. And it's a very humbling thing. And I have to check my thinking sometimes to accept the fact of this stream of consciousness that I'm not a creator of things, more a vessel for them, whether it's
Mm,
film, whether it's the music and the songs and the books. But sometimes things come to me while I'm talking to someone, and it'll come to me, uh, while my hands are on the keyboard, and I literally get a physical, energetic feeling.
mm,
It's almost like an electrical feeling, and it's a really powerful thing. And I just keep asking. I say the divine mothers, but the source of all sources, this let me be a contributor while I'm in this plane, while I'm in this interval, while I'm functioning in this interval, and be the best I can be. But it came to me so much and confirmed that if we don't look at our consciousness, you know, and look at human evolution, then it's going to be the same. Everything still stems from survival of the fittest, this false notion. From that came this concept of manifest destiny, which has ruined the world for thousands of years now.
mm.
And now from the center of this country, a very powerful nation considered, there's someone there, not even the head guy, the other guy spotting up that yeah, we should dominate because it's us.
Mm.
That's the new doctrine. Just think of the mindset of people who think like that.
Yeah, and
And
it's
yeah, go ahead.
they think that they're than more mightier than what they are, and
Absolutely.
it's just amazing that people of faith definitely know that this is going to come to a crashing halt, and I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait to see the evilness around us, and I try not to focus on it too much, but it's always around me. So I try to listen and then move on and move forward. And I only listen just to get to absorb something out of it. Even if it's negative, I just want to absorb something. I want to absorb things, so then when I am sitting down, I can kind of evaluate it, do some investigation, start looking into different things, so that when it does hit me again or comes across my way, I will give an intelligent, debate or feedback on it. So, but that's enough of that. I want to highlight you. You have 12 gateways of consciousness, and the first one is human centric. Let's talk about that, cuz.
Well, human centric is the overall framework, as I said, essential for that dream. Do you have the Urban Dictionary up in front of you?
No, don't. I
Or you can,
can't.
well, I can say it too, but I thought, hey,
No,
I-
that's
you- people can go. If people who your listeners, they can go right to it, and because we learn we absorb more, we're interactive. But I'll talk
Mhm.
about the gateways in general first, where you find that. I call them the gateways because I feel like I'm always portaling to something. When I get these streams of knowledge, it comes to in all around me, and I'm doing things in 360. But I understand it, and my fingers eventually have to catch up when I decide to go and write. But and the beautiful thing about coherence is this is a state that we're meant to achieve. That we have
Mm.
a balance in our whole beingness gets balance, and that, but not just within what we think is us, this physical body, too often, but our beingness and existence itself, with all that exists. And for such a long time, people have been taught that that's too way out there, and all this. Just be concerned about here now. Did you eat? Did you drink? Did you go to work? And this is a control mechanism. It's not about That's not about being human, because look at it. We look at what we see and observe as observers in a quantum existence. We can look at every animal, every creature, from the most microscopic to the insect, to all the mammals, to the creatures of the sky. You examine them, then you look at the trees and the vegetation, which are other forms of life and family. You look at all that. Which one of them pays to be on this planet? None.
Yes.
Absolutely none. They exist on this planet in their state. And where I live now, I live in La Riviera, which is on the American River in Sacramento County. And it's a great place because it's like living in a little Eden, because we have so many green apples and lime trees, every kind of fruit trees around. And even though there's a lot of condos that you can't tell because it's on 5 acres, I walk through that place, the animals come right up to you. We have turkeys, we have squirrels, we have all these things. And it always reminds me that in the natural state, what this planet, what Mother Earth gives to us. I mean, the oranges trees are so pregnant right now, they're falling everywhere. The apple trees a few months ago. And the fruit's just on the ground. The animals thrive there because there's so much free food. I was picking limes for almost a month now, just getting my limes. Before that was the lemons. But what I'm saying is that, why are we paying to be here? We have to rethink humanity. We have to evolve, because this is nonsense. It's
Yes.
nonsense. It's destroying people's health, because there's a cabal uh, of consciousness. I'm going to call it a cabal of consciousness that says you need the slave to be here. You need to compete to be here. You need to dominate or be over someone else to be here. You are special and you are privileged. And there are so many thought patterns and thought forms and religions and societies, each one claiming, well, we're the special ones. Yeah,
Mhm.
we're really important. So everybody, you got to get down to whatever, because we're what's important. But we look around us by observing and see that's not the way the existence, at least this realm, this planet, works at all. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. It.
I know that different animals eat each other. They're food for the other. But I've seen scenes where animals who would be considered enemies at the water hole together in times
Mm.
of stress. Right? I've
Yeah.
seen in my own life as a kid. I saw my puppy take care of our cat when it got hit. You know,
Mm.
and so it's about the energy that we put out in the frequency. So coherence, the gateways, this trilogy, human-centered trilogy, is to help people who choose to, who it resonates with them, to begin to go on their journey. And I think it's a journey of evolving consciousness, changing our humanity to what I call homo luminous.
Mm.
Homo luminous is, theta homo luminous is the level where we move beyond this survival of the fittest and this competition, and we walk through where we bring that love energy that really everything stems from wherever we go.
Awesome. Want to say hello to Michael Smale, another author. His
Hey,
book
Mike.
is ready, and he'll be on here shortly, and maybe in a few weeks. That way we can highlight him. But I just wanted to say hello to him. Um, he's on YouTube watching us, and feel free, anyone. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So this will always, this will always be on air. It'll always be on YouTube. Always be available. um, and just want to pass that on. Um, Ali, we talked. You wrote about in Gateway 3, and you got the acronym TIME. Explain that, and why did you use an acronym of TIME?
Well, all the gateways do come out to an acronym because time is the prison that is helping enslave humanity. We are
Mm-hmm.
told to sell our time. When we think what happens, we on average take 12 breaths a second. Our breath is our literal life force. Nothing happens, humanity doesn't begin as we perceive it in this realm until we leave the womb of the mother and we take that breath. That's essentially that delicate, invisible, soft chi energy thing is all that we have
Wow.
in that moment. I used to do it when I used to do public, when I do some public speaking. This exercise I used to do a long time ago. And I would tell my audience to hold their breath. I would direct them to take some cleansing breath and hold it. And I never tell them to release it.
Mm.
And so eventually everybody starts gasping when they release their breath. And I said, well, that's how fragile life is. That's all you have. You're not
Wow.
guaranteed the exhale. We are not guaranteed the exhale.
Mm.
We only know about the inhale. If we get an exhale, but we take it for granted. But with that, those 12 breaths on average per minute, we're told to sell those so we can exist. So literally sell your life force, sell your essence so you can exist on the planet where everything is free. No one you can invent things here, you can create things here, or you can develop things here, but it's already here. You can't start from nothing.
Mm. That's
Yeah.
deep. Very deep. Um,
So that's what it's about. So the time, you asked about time. Can you have
what do you need?
time binds us. It's linear, and we're not linear. That's the big thing. I know you mentioned Eva earlier. Eva and I talk quite a bit. And I always share things with her, and she shares things with me as we're doing them. And she's doing some great work too, because she's doing some what they call soul calling retreats, and something we talked about. And I'm just honored to be part of just sharing what her development in that area and what she's doing for humanity, because it is about this thing that sometimes we call it soul or whatever we want to call it. But this time that we give for our work, or the time that we're supposed to have, it's very transient. It's fleeting.
Yeah, you put transient intervals, manifesting experience.
Yeah,
Um, and
intervals, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
because if you think about time and experiences in life, you have sometimes that you're really engaged and connected with something, and all of a sudden that interval, I call them intervals rather than a given appointment, that interval ends, or an interval, let's say, call it completes, and you go, wow, that was 6 hours. I thought we just
Mm.
got here.
Mm.
And then there's another experience that everyone has had, where they're somewhere and it's like, okay, I am so glad that's over. What? That was only 15 minutes? What? Or a class that you just can't, like, maybe back in high school or college, a class like, is this class? I remember my Greek and Roman civilization class at University of Massachusetts. It was like, I dreaded that class because it seemed like it was a 10-hour class.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in Latin. To make it worse, I
Wow.
took 5 years of Latin, so we had to take that freshman year. And it was like, oh, I said, you know what, I'm just going to suffer and get a D or a C in this class. I'm not even going to try to get an A. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. And I used to go and go like this, Charlie. I go into my theta meditation. I'll literally be asleep. Say, whatever I absorb in my theta meditation, that's what I'll be able to answer on the test.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed to last forever. So we've had these experiences. So time is just relative. It's transient. But the experience of the interval and what we emote during that time, and what we interpret during that time, and what we share and give out during it, that's life. That's what we manifest. And then what do we take from those moments? What is the experience that we gain?
Awesome. This is I can't wait. I cannot wait to have this in front of me and It's definitely not going to sit back here what these other books are.
Well, there's a couple of things right now. The ebook, the first ebook is up on Bandcamp. If you go to Bandcamp, I think it's /humancentric or humancentric /Bandcamp. I'm sure if you, the ebook is up there. It's available, and it's one of the nice things. When they get the ebook, because Bandcamp is primarily for music, right?
Mhm.
So you get a bonus gift of a song. And the song that I'm really that I I've been doing a lot of, like I said, producing and doing music for the past since COVID because we were locked in. I
Yeah.
returned to my first love of music and started doing more of that. But the song is called Survivor's Anthem,
Wow.
Flying
Okay.
with Angels. So that's available on Bandcamp. I know she put up, the book has been selling, but I don't know if hopefully the song file's up, but you get it with the song. And even if it's not up now, she'll go back and make sure it gets delivered. But she was working on that before I came on the air. Because again, why is it human centric? Let me explain why. Flying with Angels is a song I wrote in 2009 for a movie I did on human trafficking.
Mhm.
Did this movie on human trafficking. It was the first feature film that I was ever going to direct, and actually play the lead role in. And back then we were still shooting on tape. If you weren't shooting on film, they were shooting on tape. And so I wrote this song to go along with that movie. To make the story short, when we sent the tapes out to get translated to digital, so we could do editing because digital editing was coming in, basically all my main scenes were missing from the movie.
Mm.
All of them.
Wow.
Strange thing, right? So I
Yeah.
just, okay, I know what happened. I know that someone took my movie. Okay, that's great. But anyways, I wrote this song and I couldn't think of the name of it, but I was last week or so, another interval, I was thinking, the name came back to me, Fly with Angels. I called my sister Karen, who initially I wrote, and then she sang the song, and then a friend of her composed the original version. She said, hey, what was that song we did for No Way Back? What's the name of the movie? And we thought, I said, you know what? Something tells me, and I had that surge I get, like I said, when there's a stream going on, I
Mhm.
bring that song forward. So we were on the call like this, and she said, I'm gonna look at my archives, you look at yours. So we found it. I read the lyrics, and all of a sudden I get even a bigger surge. And she just looked at me and says, brother, you have to go right. I go, yeah, I gotta go right. So yeah, I went and I just wrote and wrote and wrote. Then after I wrote it, I sent it back to her. She goes, just go and record. So got in, did the mixing and all that kind of stuff, then the recording, do what we do. And so that song, Survivor's Anthem, and it really hits directly about what's going on with this Epstein thing. But
Mhm.
why I speak to that human nature, it's not just the sordidness of what's going on. What do you say about the people who will abuse children?
I don't
You,
say much.
you can't say anything.
I was
Yeah.
yeah, I can't say much other than hopefully someone takes their breath away, whether it's
Well, I ask for justice. I don't, the justice will come to them. That's what I meditate and pray on. But my point is what's human centric about that? I cannot help but feel that, not only through some experience I've had in my life, family, people also, but also just this whole thing of like, this has been going on. And when I first got involved, like in 2007 on Facebook and stuff, if you look back, you'll see there's still a group called Ali's Angels. I
Mhm.
was involved with human trafficking issues way back then and trying to actually helping to rescue women from human trafficking on the down low, so to speak.
Yeah.
Till I discovered, because an incident happened that I cannot repeat on the air, that people in very powerful places were behind it. Because I had a statistic that I learned through research that they knew that 300,000 minimum people were disappearing from the planet every year. What? They never find
Wow.
no record of them again. Now, this is not nothing. This is through human trafficking. They can't find them. But that doesn't make sense. This should be the number one issue in the UN.
Yes. Exactly.
So that was back in 2009. So I was on that for a while. And then, because of certain circumstances, I realized my own well-being was in jeopardy. And
Mm.
so I sort of moved away from it, but never left it. So when this whole thing that's happening now in this country, it just disturbs my being too much. And so I said, what can I do? And then the mother said, bring this song up and remake this song. And so we did. And so I've we're literally giving it away with the book.
Hmm.
And I'm hoping when people get to hear it, I should send you a copy. Maybe you play it on there one time. Um, we just finished mastering it a few days ago, and yeah, it's just so sad, but it's meant to heal. It's meant to heal, and I think it will help people if they've been through any kind of survival experience, I think it will help them heal. That's the intent that it came from, and that's where the heart of it came from. And the one thing I like to express on that, I know it seems a little bit off from the book, but it's not. Everything is about the human centricity. Is that one of the things that disturb me? And I, like you, I just perusal enough to be aware of what's going on. I
Yes.
won't let it affect my energy and my aura. Then I go back into my meditative state and work on my creative things, because that's what the divine has given me to put into the world. But I was upset about the fact they kept referring to these powerful men, powerful men, powerful men. I go, why are you giving these people energy? Why are you investing in them? They're not powerful. What they are is monsters.
Yeah.
Complete and utter monsters. They are void of humanity if you do these kinds of things. So in the song, I use that word, and I believe it goes, it says, monsters wearing crowns, monsters all around. There's something, I can't bring it all out right now, but in the chorus and the bridge, I talk about the monsters, and that actually drove how I really did the song. It's very kind of, it goes from this nice ballad to kind of heavy rock, because where is the energy from people behind it? This is absolutely, we don't have words to describe it. Then I said, oh no, they're monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're absolute monsters. But the
Perfect.
song is a hopeful song. It's a healing song. And so my intent and energy behind it is, we're going to give it away with the book, but also that if it gets out there enough, it'll go viral. It'll create a lot of healing, but also it'll serve notice to those behind these type of things, what they really are, and that we know what they are. And people will stop calling them for what they are, monsters.
Perfectly described. They are monsters, and truly, n- no way to title it other than the word monsters. The You just pointed out that or you mentioned about how we give out so much power and energy towards these monsters and who they are, and powerful, and maybe they're hidden. These monsters are hidden, but they do listen, and they listen to all this um, hype about them and how powerful they are, and it feeds their ego and their vanity to the extraordinary, and so I like the fact that we just gotta you mentioned about we gotta stop calling them powerful and use the word monsters, because it's real important, because they are listening.
Well,
There's Go ahead.
no, well, you're speaking about coherence, right? The coherence is in reverse of what it should be. It's on coalescing them and their energies instead of our energies, and
Yes.
that's
Yes.
exactly what it's about. It's coming back to me. So the bridge of the song is, under golden warmth of sun, a cold abyss below, claiming
Wow.
children's souls in places they all chose not to know. Monsters claiming power, monsters wearing crowns, monsters buying silence, monsters all around. The nameless and the stolen and the child I used to be were crying to be free, crying to be believed. Our tears become your reckoning.
Mm.
That's a
Wow.
power in there, brother.
That's very powerful. I like that. I love it. Actually, I love it.
Yeah.
The
I'll send you a Google link to the song,
Yeah.
and you can play
This
it on your ear whenever you're doing it. But I'm going, yeah, like I said, it's going to be downloadable with the ebook on Bandcamp. I don't
oh,
know if I haven't talked to Aaliyah. She's on your time, but she's also a mom. She's a stay-at-home mom with a house
oh
full of kids. So she was working on getting that up there with the book. But that's what we decided early this morning. So no later than tomorrow, that'll be available for people to download and share. It's
Well,
just been given away.
I can definitely wait. And all right, man, good stuff, man. Is that earlier I talked to you and I said that you're too deep for 30 minutes.
I'm drowning. I'm drowning.
Yeah, you definitely, it's now I you can definitely, I mean, just on those lyrics, that was something quick, but it's very teachable.
Yes.
And you do that. You can teach so many people within a short period of time.
Well, brother, I'm getting a surge right now. Like
Yeah,
I, okay, because first of all, a few minutes ago, you invited me to come on the air with you. What we're doing is we're putting up a YouTube channel, and the YouTube um, it's called Being Becoming, the
being
human centric
becoming.
practice, the human centric practice. And what we're doing is people can have the book, but there were 36 episodes for this first book that we're going to do. And we've already actually written the episodes. It's like nonstop between me and my daughter, Aaliyah. She's so amazing. She's the one that got named after her dad. They're all my children. I'm just so blessed with them. They're amazing humans.
Yes,
But
you are.
Aaliyah has been able to work with me, which is because of the technology, even though she's on the East Coast. Well, I'm so delighted that we can do that. And we've written the episodes. So we're going to be doing those. So it's going to be a channel on YouTube that people can go to, and subscribe to, and each of the trilogy books is going to have 36 episodes. It won't be the whole book, but because the book, it does have practicums in the book Coherence. Each book does have that, so we're excited about that. And I think we're trying to. My other friend Michael, his high school friend, has jumped on board. We're trying to line up a TED Talk as well. So we're going to
Mm.
go out there with this philosophy because this is all we have. Politics is not the answer. I was meeting with someone today wants me to work on their campaign. But when he talked about, he said, yeah, he says, I'm there because I have the power of belief. I go, yeah, because politics isn't the answer.
Mm.
You know, it's, the solution you have to come from a change of consciousness. And the first thing he says, can I have a copy of the book? I said, yes, I'll send you an e-copy of it.
Yeah,
That's the solutions we have to come up with if we want to leave a legacy. And for me, I'm a great granddad now, 71 years. I'm thinking about,
you look
I'm planning
wonderful, man.
to hang out to 111. That's the intent. A
Mm.
lot to do. I keep asking the big guy. I got a lot to do. So let me go to 111. Maybe I get it all done.
You look wonderful, man. Awesome. Um, let's try to kind of step back here.
Well, you're looking at that. I like to mention again the people. If when you
Go
get
ahead.
you can start at any gateway. It doesn't mean you read this book in a chronological thing because that's linear. And we're not really linear beings. Something you're going to see, like you talked about dreams, is something resonates with you and it comes to you and you feel it. And that's why I hope people will utilize this tool of the trilogy with this first book being dropped right now. And the only thing I do recommend that they read the forward because I articulate myself better when I get to write. So the forward, really sets up how this came to be and how to use the book as a tool. But you can start at any gateway they want to do to something will resonate with them and then work their way through. But I'm still reading the book over and over, Charlie.
Yeah,
I'm still learning and going deeper and deeper into it. So that's why I say I'm very humble and grateful. I get a little emotional about it sometimes.
you mentioned about Gateway 6, which is truth.
Ooh.
The acronym TRUTH, truth.
Mhm.
Um,
Go ahead and give him the acrostic, brother. Give it to him.
okay. It says, hold on, my old man eyes here. It says on page 50 to 51, you write, when we stop exhausting ourselves maintaining elaborate fictions, we discover we have energy left for truth. And truth, it turns out, it's light, is light enough to carry and strong enough to stand on in an informational ecosystem where my truth versus your truth has replaced objective reality, and where gaslighting has become normalized at personal, corporate, and political levels. How do timeless res, whew, result? What was it? Result? I can't see it real good. Yeah. Timeless result, universal thoughts of harmony cut through the chaos and restore our capacity to recognize what's actually real. Um, timeless. Let's talk about that. Timeless. When you talk about timeless,
Yeah, because what's happened is, for me in my life, intervals, I relate to back to when President William Clinton was having a situation with Miss Lewinsky, and they
hmm
were testifying. And I remember going aghast in my face. I actually watched that, and he says, "Well," he was asked a question about, and his response was, "Well, that depends on what you is."
hmm
So he was parsing the word "is,"
yeah,
which seems to be a very, very direct way. He parsed it. I went, "Whoa, this is some really
hmm
malalignment going on here," and I, that's why I go back to what people. Truth is not bound by time. Truth is not relative, but that's what it's become, and now it's morphed into this. What now people say gaslighting. No, they're just lying. They're just
yeah,
lying. They're just
mm,
telling complete untruth. You're not gaslighting me. I know a lie. Don't. That's like giving power to the powerful man. No, you're just lying. And
yeah.
again, with the journalists, I don't, because I guess they're owned by corporate whatever reason, but I love the journalists who just call it like it is. That's why I watch a lot of podcasts. Just tell them you're lying,
Yeah.
or you say that's an untruth. I used to watch that lady just totally lie the other day and smirk about it.
You know the
So go ahead.
craziest thing about journalism, right? You have to be that type of person, right? To do journalism, you have to be. It has to be a love for you to do it. It takes a lot of energy. It just is. There's a lot. So these journalism, when they're doing all this lying, because they are lying, they have to go back to their love, and it's journalism. How could they go back to their love and really have people form or actually stand behind them later on when we know that they're lying? And so it's like stabbing yourself in the heart when
Mm-hmm.
you're a journalist and you're lying about something that you love doing, or within the subject matter is untruth, but you're a journalist and you're putting it out there. What do you do after the fact? What do you do in the future? You know,
Mm-hmm.
when you just killed everything that you possibly, lived your life for. It's just amazing that um it's like me in poetry, if I'm writing poetry and I'm using somebody else's stuff, it just, and someone finds out, how do I pour out some more poetry that's mine, that's genuine, and people just saying, "No, that's not." Charlie didn't make the poem a year ago, and I don't believe he's gonna make a poem 2 years from now because he used someone else's poetry. And journalism is the same thing. They just keep lying about their love. Oh, and how can they go back to each other or go back to the public? And they may have some truth. You talk about frequencies, and they just dull their frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I'm sorry I went off on a.
No, there's a
You
that.
just you triggered me when you said journalism and it.
Yeah, well, it's very relevant because you're saying that, and that's why this first book is called Coherence, because we are in some state of coherence all the time, but the true coherence is what I'm talking about. Are we in coherence with the divine source, which
Mm,
everything emanates with, and that's love. So if you're not radiating love in some way, and that's actually another gateway in the book, so they're all connected. In each gateway, we explain how it connects to the other gateway. But to what you're saying is, how can you do these things and put love in the world when you know you're not?
Hmm.
And then you want love back.
Yeah.
You want love back, and that's what you're doing. These people who consider themselves, I'm doing a good thing. No, it's because you got a job and now they're paying you.
Hmm.
Because now we're going to go back to that whole, your breath has been bought. You sold your breath. You sold your life force.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't have to do that. They tricked you into believing that. That's what school was doing to you. They trick you into believing that. But, be introspective. You have a life. You can think. But
Yeah. It's
that's the message of the human-centric trilogy. To look back at our humanity and be introspective about it, and look at truth and look at time, and look at life, look at hate. There's a lot in the gateways that I think can benefit people, because they still benefit me every day.
man. Well, there's one thing I got to do, and uh, we definitely have to keep this. I got to throw as much as I can out there with this. I truly, truly want you to share everything that you're doing. I want to the YouTube page that you're gonna have, or channel rather.
Mm-hmm.
It's real important that once I get that link, that I can kind of put it on the bottom line here
All right.
for every podcast I do, because
Oh,
it's that
wow.
important that everybody does see that and brings it to you. Just I want to bring um their attention to your channel. It's very, very important. Um, I wish you were closer, but you know what? We can communicate through phone, through podcast, through
Oh, yeah.
anything.
That's
You know,
amazing, right? And
yeah.
yeah, because yeah, that first of all, thank you so much for that. I'm so grateful for that. That's amazing. Um, Yeah, I'm so, you get to a point where you get to have an understanding. And for me, it's been this introspection that really began way back in 2003, when I wrote that first book, Becoming Human, Being Human, which the internet was still kind of in its infancy. And I published it out of Canada with Trafford Publishing. I didn't know about securing things. Within 3 weeks, that book was all over the internet.
Wow.
People just took it and running, and that's fine. But that statement, becoming human, being human, I just returned from. I was in Africa during the Diamond Wars. I went on a humanitarian mission. There's again humanitarian mission, right?
Hmm.
Because I had met a gentleman who was the chief of a village in the Bofodian Mountains, in Sierra Leone, from the Mindis tribe, Chief Alimami Mohammed III. Yeah. And he had been a Congo war hero and all these things, but he took a bayonet in the head and came to Seattle for surgery. And I met him. And he's this really handsome, strapping soldier, buff guy, probably 55, 60 years old. He
Hmm.
was absolute. He says, my kids are going to starve. So when you go, the villages are really not like people think, where they're spread out throughout the mountain. There'll be a little neighborhood here, a little something here. And he says, because the UN won't come up because we're up in the mountains, everybody's afraid of the rebel soldiers. So no one will
Wow.
come. So the UN was there, but would not bring food for all these people.
Mm.
So I found somebody who was moved by it. He was a Christian dude named Greg Gurley, big heavy set dude, but he was moved by it. And he said, man, he was just crying. I go, what are we going to do? That's why I said, what are we going to do? What? I said, I got an idea. What? I said, you speak, I speak. Let's go raise some money.
Mm.
So we raised money. Got some, at that time I was doing some consulting for Microsoft, got some things from them. And we went on, it was a big headline in Seattle. Two men go to Africa for humanitarian mission. We went. And we
Wow.
went there. And it was an amazing experience. There's so much I learned about my own humanity and understanding humanity on that voyage, in that trip. But and it was not anything like what I expected. But We ended up bribing the mafia at the port of Freetown, which was controlled by the Lebanese, to get
Mm-hmm.
to get rice, because we needed to bring them rice. They needed the staple food. And we took money. We bought 855 bags of rice. They bought 55 kilograms, whatever they came about that.
Wow.
But we bribed them and bought them. Then we had to bribe the military because we needed trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So we bribed the military and we got the trucks.
Wow.
And so when we left Freetown, that was an amazing thing. We don't have our trucks now. Everybody who wanted to go the way that we were going was in the trucks and in the Jeeps and the Range Rovers. It was crazy. I'm in there with chickens and stuff. I'm not even seeing. I'm sitting on the road bar, with
Mm-hmm.
my thing tied around my face from the sun and the sand. To make the story short, we drove what should have been 36 miles, but it took 9 hours
Wow.
because the roads were gone from all the war and just not having certain things. And it was crazy. And then when we got to that, it was supposed to be the big, exciting place.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in rural New England, but I know most suburbs. You expect to see some shiny stuff. And it
Yeah.
was during the World Cup, so everyone wanted to get there so we could watch the World Cup. Got to this place, the city, McKenna, and it was bombed out, shot out, and there was just nothing really there. But there was a discotheque where the football was playing. But
Wow.
this congressman was traveling with us. The head of the FBI was traveling with us. And so it was just quite a thing. But we knew about standing in the river overnight with snakes, man,
Mm.
hoping to stay alive. But the bottom line is, Charlie, we got the food to them.
Yes.
We got the food. We had to offload and bribe the local police to go to smaller trucks because there was only one bridge that was half blown out. It was one of those stories that could be a movie. But I was so excited because we got it to them,
Wow.
and it was a very, that taught me a lot about the world and how things to be human centric. And that became my whole thing for my life from that point on.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just think of the stories you have, not that you left behind, but are on a shelf. Just on that trip,
Oh,
how many more stories
well, there was
could
actually a
come?
book still available on Amazon, which I'm gonna upgrade. But there's a book on Amazon of mine called Atlantic Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Amazon now. That book, Atlantic Crossing, is still available on Amazon, and it's about that trip.
Wow.
Because I created
Atlantic crossing.
Atlantic Crossing. It's available. I think, my name is very, very long. I think it might be under Ali Salam. As my name is,
Mm-hmm.
I cut it down to Ali DeSousa to make it easy. It might be under Ali Salam, but anyways, oh no, I think it's under Ali DeSousa. I think we upgraded it some years back. But anyways, yeah, it's still available. Atlantic Crossing is the name of that book. It's a paperback available on Amazon. It tells all about that trip. That trip was so profound, and I just gave you a little slight dose of what happened. It was crazy, man.
Um,
Yeah, we know. I
well,
mean, we heard bullets, brother. It
the
was during the
next
Bible
time,
Wars. We heard bullets, and these people were able to estimate how far the bullets were away.
wow,
And so we couldn't stop and camp where we were supposed to camp because a 36-mile trip took that. And we drove through the night and stood in the river and all kinds of it's crazy, man. But I came back. I'm talking to you, right? Because that's
yeah,
the
that's
power
it.
of faith, man. Frequency,
That's
man.
the most important thing. You were back here, and that's the that's before your family, right? Before you created your beautiful children.
Oh no, that was afterwards.
Afterwards.
That was in 2003. My kids were all born in the
Oh,
80s.
okay, all
80s.
right.
Yeah.
I
I
I
yeah.
I missed the date. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, that
Um,
was I came back in 2003, so that was about 2002. And I would have been there longer, but just to give you how hard it is, and there's no excuse because Sierra Leone is one of the most resource richest place in the world. It's so poor. One of the things that happened, we were going over the real difficult part in the mountains. I had to change vehicles, and there was some women traveling, and so I wouldn't take a seat. So I've been riding the roll bar for a day and a half, and just
yeah,
holding onto a roll bar in a Range Rover. Well, we hit this place, we spilled, man. We got thrown out. And
wow.
Rock, yeah, it was rough, man. It got hit hard. We all got spilled out, had to turn it back up, right? But meanwhile, we got it all done, and we kept on going, repacked it. We don't have as much, and went on, caught the chickens that were in there. But the thing is, I cracked a tooth,
Wow.
completely sheared off, right? That was nothing, right? I wasn't worried about it, so I didn't say anything. But eventually, it started to hurt. So I told Mr. Bannister, who was would be their head of the FBI, I said, "Look at me. Um, my tooth is sheared, man." I showed him. He goes, "Oh," he said, "You got to go home." I go, "What?"
Mm.
I said, "When we get," he says, "No, no, no. You have to fly home." There was no penicillin or antibiotics in the entire country.
Wow.
When he got, so what that stimulated, when we went back to Freetown, he invites, "Oh, well, let me take you to the hospital. I'll show you." So I went to the hospital and saw people with this most normal things dying
Wow.
because penicillin was deliberately being kept from the country.
Oh my
And so,
God.
yeah, but I ended up flying back. I flew back to England.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the things when people don't travel and don't see the world and just want to be political and think it's right or left, it's not any of that. It's about humanity. It's what caring for them. How do you love thy neighbor as thyself? But what is that love?
Hmm.
That love is what we talk about in the book, the frequency of who we are as beings and how we serve one another, not dominate one another.
Wow.
So yeah, that
Um,
was an adventure, brother.
I that, that's you sold me on the book already, so I'm gonna make sure that I have that in my hand by Monday. That's that's real important. Craziest thing is it's why does the Atlantic crossing always come back to black folks, right?
Brother, yeah, now I'm surging again because I grew up where you are. I didn't know that, but I was up on the South Shore, but we grew up on the ocean, right? The
Yeah,
Atlantic Ocean, literally. And I'll give you a quick little, you don't mind, right? I'll give you another little side story.
not
So
at all.
that little parochial town where I was, there wasn't too many people that looked like me. There was some CVs, a little, small little community here, a little over there. But I predominantly, the school was mostly, Blancos, Caucasian people, they
Yeah,
say today. And I had a real hard time given the age that I was. I mean, they traumatized their gang to beat me up and did different things. But I developed friendships and stuff, and people I hung out, played in bands with, did great stuff with. And I'm in touch with some of them today. But it was senior year. We were on the beach. We were on the beach in Hull, Massachusetts, and we were doing what kids did that day. They were passing around a pipe, and I didn't partake, but I was just chilling because we were playing some music and all that kind of stuff. And they're passing it around and around. And next to me is this guy. I'm not gonna say his name to be nice.
yeah,
Um, yeah, we doubled to the prom together, and he kept getting missed, right? So he's sitting right next to me, Charlie. And
yeah.
finally, he was so frustrated that the pipe kept missing him. He said, "What the bleep? Am I black?"
Wow. Yeah.
That was a message to me, bro. These are the people I
Hmm.
hung with, and he was right on my shoulder, and
Yeah.
everybody got real quiet because, yeah, I said, "Well, you must have got night. It's nighttime now. You probably can't see me, right? Pretty
Hmm.
dark." I just stood up and walked out to the rocks. You know,
Wow.
kind of jumped in for a swim. This when I said that, but when I was out there, what I was trying to tell you, and I went for a little swim, sat in the rocks, and I literally was transported back to Africa, back in the time of, I mean, right to the time of when General Tariq went to cross the Strait to Gibraltar. I literally had a vision, but it was so much. I was just sitting there, and a buddy of mine who I used to play in band with, Kenny Witcher, who's a great guy, still touched base every now and then today. He came out to get me because I had been out there so long. And no
Hmm.
one could see me. They thought something had happened. But I just went on this vision quest. And that's in the book too, Atlantic Crossing. That's why it's
Right.
named that. I crossed the Atlantic, and that led to, and I had actually done that. So it's very powerful life experience about learning to be human and to check the ego, I guess, in a way. That's what it means.
Hmm. You know what? There's there's reasons why we do the things we do and study the things we do. Um, but there's one thing that I mentioned and that I heard from you is frequency.
Yes, sir.
Now, real important is that there's there's two special guys in my life. One is you,
Well, thank you.
and one is Marvin Speller, who also is co-host for my other podcast. And he always mentions frequencies and tones.
Yes.
And it's amazing that two people that always have my ear, always captivate me, always have um my attention, and that both of you have come up with frequency. Um, and maybe it's a lack of me not paying. Well, I do pay attention to it, but coming from the words, coming from your mouth and his mouth means so much to me, and that I need to understand and really kind of broadcast frequencies when it comes to people and when it comes to myself.
Yeah, because we're all, well, one of the questions I think we ask in the PR stuff for the books is, what are you broadcasting? That is
Yes,
the question. What are you
yes,
broadcasting?
frequency. What are you broadcasting exactly?
That's even shows in the imaging. Everything for the PR for the book is about that. And my sister Karen and I, we talk. And one of the ways that people know, and the audience may relate to this, is really simple. Ever been around when there's a newborn baby in the family, or you maybe the baby's getting shown around, and then there's certain member of the family, the baby doesn't want to go
Mhm.
because the
Yes,
baby knows. And
yes,
the sad thing is, parents will force the baby. I didn't do that with my children. I said, oh,
yes.
no, you can't hold them. That's okay. They don't want to go. Just move along. We're moving on.
Hmm.
Yeah, because the baby has not been uh, bound by time yet. It's fully aware, even
Yes.
though it doesn't articulate with words. It articulates with its soul, right? And so that's one way. The other way is, like, if you come with me and walk around La Riviera there, you'll see the squirrels come right up to my feet. Not to
Hmm.
get food. They just come up and I talk to them. You know,
Nice.
I talk to them, say, how you doing? And they'll make little faces and stuff like that. And I have one, I don't know if he was born this way, but he's missing his left paw.
Hmm.
You know, and he tries to come in the house, man. If he even sees my reflection, even at night, he'll come down the tree. There's a big persimmon tree there. They live in there. He come down that tree and come up to that, go up to the door, think he's going to get in. But
Wow.
it's the frequency,
Yes.
you know. And yeah, it's we have turkeys, and the turkeys are around the place. But there's a gaggle of turkeys. It's a family of 7. I remember because I saw the hatchlings, and I'd never seen hatchlings before. But I was walking one time, and I saw the grass moving in a funny way. And I go like, that's kind of some alien stuff. Why is it moving? But I saw the hen. I didn't see the tom, but then I saw some more movement, some more movement. It turned out to be 7 hatchlings. You know, and
Wow.
that was only like 9 months ago. But at 6 months, you see the size of them, but they still come by my front door because I have a big redwood out front. They
Hmm.
still come by. I feel like,
Wow.
you know, yeah, they come by and the tom stops. You know, they have to look from the side. And I have a chair, my comfy chairs there when I usually watching some sports. They'll stop there and squawk a little bit, and I see the family. And I just
Hmm.
send a thought and some energy. Then they'll go, and I just saw them like 2 days ago. Yeah, they come on a regular. You know.
Very nice.
It's cool.
Frequencies.
Free.
Awesome. The let's see. I want to make sure that we cover as much as I can in a short period of time. Because
We're a little over an hour now. Yeah.
yeah, me being so glued into you that I'll let you talk. And but what are we missing? What did we miss in this podcast, in your opinion? What
Well,
did we miss?
no, I don't think we missed anything. We just went through it unfolded the way that it should. And Mike, I see Michael's name was nice. I did see that he got a book coming out, so I'm
Yes.
looking forward to that because he sent me a text on that. And Eva was on, and it's funny because I was thinking of calling Eva this morning, but I was too busy getting ready. I had a lot of stuff going on today.
Yeah. Reminder about her audiobooks. She needs to
Oh,
see.
she asks Eva every time I call her. She gets assignments, have you done this? I'm always loading her up, you know.
Mhm.
But uh, but she's actually some of the music I'm producing does alter your frequency.
Mm.
So because I ask the mothers, as I like to say, you just leave and just have my hands do it, whatever. I pull out the synthesizer, whatever I got to do, and but I've given it to different people from different walks of life, and I've gotten a consistent response of like, whoa, what is happening? So people who haven't practiced meditation, things like that, once the channel is up, and also on Bandcamp, I'm going to start loading that stuff up there. That'll be available because my role is just to help us all heal, from the film to the music to the stories, to what's in the Human Centric Trilogy and the other part of the book series, because we need to evolve. We've been stuck in the same place for a long time.
Exactly. Kind of taking on human law, right? The
Mhm.
human beliefs. We taking them on so much that um, it keeps us it keeps many people unfocused.
Yeah,
And it's too bad.
and
Um,
it's by design, but
yeah,
people who are resonant, who are ready, those who are ready, they're drawn to it and they recognize it, you know. And I've had some encounters. I'll give you one last little story because it freaked me out. I started crying right in the store. So people like, what? Not crying, like, yeah, just like the tears.
yeah,
I was I was in Rice store, and it was got to a congested area. I'm like, why is it so congested in that corner? And I looked out. There was a woman there, African American lady, and she's like abuela, you know, she's an older lady. She's in a mobility thing, and she kind of like sitting there. And I go, oh, do you need some help? She goes, oh, you just come through, honey. Da, da, da. I said, well, no, I got all the time in the world, you know. She goes, oh no, I'm trying to make up my mind. So you take your time, make up your mind. But just behind it was some other people, and I
hmm
saw a woman look up. So I was just being patient. I'm waiting until she decides what she's going to do. Well, that woman kind of walked around. She walked by me. She very nicely said hello, you know. And I said, hi, how are you? And I turned to her. You know what she said to me?
What's that?
You, you're quantum.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I tell my close folks, oh, I'm in the quantum world. I'm on quantum time, quantum.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, she used the word quantum. So that got my attention, right?
Yeah,
So we started speaking. I said, right? Yeah, right. She goes, oh, I felt it when you came around the corner. I said, really? So you get these little signs that the universe will give you. So we chatted for a bit. So I ended up saying, hey, well, she didn't say, well, she's a singer. She's an opera singer. And she,
nice.
well, you know, and so I said, oh, can I play something for you? So I played one of my frequency songs, right? That alters frequency. She went, you know what I do? She goes, I do sound therapy for people who've been through abuse. And I'd
Wow,
love for us to meet and be able to use your music to help with the therapy.
that's awesome.
This stuff happens for me. I could go on all the time. It's like, and I just thank the mothers, but it always puts a little tears in my eyes. I'm gonna give little baptisms.
hmm
Because it makes me so grateful, and I don't want my frequency to be dampened. So I'm very introspective about what I do, and I take my time.
I love that. I love it. I got a hot question for you,
Oh,
and you have to answer it. So, who would you like to see on the Really Charlie podcast?
who would I like to see? I would really Charlie. Be honest with you, I don't think he has the time. So there are two people who come to my mind right away. And that's my godfather, Salam Mateos. But you know, he's in the 90s now. He doesn't
I
leave up.
have to go see him. I'm gonna see him probably not this week, next week. Only because I promised to go see him,
Well, you should
and
broadcast from there,
it's
baby.
it's so weird that you say that because I had talked to his son and one, his youngest, and I said, "Hey, I want to record him. I want to have a conversation with him, and I'm not gonna press stop until he stops talking."
Yeah.
And
Well, there you go. That's what came to me. The second person was Eva.
yeah, Eva, she knows she got an unwritten invitation. She's the only one that she can come anytime and any moment.
Hmm.
She just an inspiration every time she speaks and has her spoken words anywhere. She always inspires me. And
Yeah.
there's not one time that Eva hasn't spoken that I didn't get something from that,
Yeah. But
and
awesome.
then started writing myself. So no, you That's a check and another check, and I will make sure.
Yeah, the mothers are working, baby. That's the synchronicity, the symbiosis, we like to say, the frequency. That when you're on that frequency, it's just that simple.
Yeah. Um. So no, definitely. Any recording I get a Salah, it's automatically, instantly, probably as soon as I get home,
Yeah.
it's going on the airways.
Oh,
I'm
that's
a
great.
very strong believer of capturing videos of elders and passing it on and sharing it.
Hmm.
Too many things. Could you imagine a video of my dad, your dad,
Right.
our uncles, our aunts, our imagine if we had those videos of all of them to share right now and how much it would relate to everything that's going on now.
Yeah. And Shelley, because of that. That's why I'm so intent. Like this particular first book in the trilogy, the whole trilogy is dedicated to my children,
Mhm.
and because I said, what can I leave? What can I give them? What can I, they don't need anything anyways. They're all very successful. That's trinkets, right? So I said, what can I? They don't know much about my experience, my life, my journey. They know, they glean a little bit, but then they go about their lives they don't know, and you just that kind of happens. And I'm looking to see if I don't know it by heart, obviously, but I have a dedication. I see if I could find it. It should be on the second page, right?
Let me see.
Let me see the copyright page. I think the next week. It's because my computer will skip pages when I try to scroll.
Oh, I get
Here
it.
it is. Yep, the
I get it.
dedication. Can I share this with the audience, because this
Of
might be a good way
course.
to
Of
also
course.
get them to tell them where to go get the book and stuff. So the dedication, it's for my beloved children. This is what I wrote to them. Sometimes what looks strange is simply the stranger's slow walk, a passage of being, becoming. That strangeness is nothing other than the quiet awareness of existing. Perhaps there is a world beyond mere survival in the accumulation of trinkets, a
Clip
broader
that.
life of meaning, connection, and unfolding. So that's the dedication to my
Nice.
children. So this for them. And then this to give them a little something solid of what's inside this book. What if the balance what if the balance tipped not through political revolution, or technological salvation, but through consciousness recognizing itself? 12 frameworks, 12 recognitions, one question. What frequency are you broadcasting?
Mhm.
This book does not ask you to believe anything new. It gives language to what you've always known but could not articulate, synthesizing quantum mechanics, ancient wisdom, and direct experience. The DeSousa lexicon offers portals into consciousness, recognizing itself. Not theory, it's not philosophy. It's a vibrational truth you can work with, interval by interval, breath by breath. So that's what the trilogy is about. And the first one's dropping, that has dropped, is Coherence. They can get the ebook right now on bandcamp.com as of tomorrow. At this time tomorrow, they'll be able to go to Amazon and get the trade paperback. And there's another version coming out that's going to be a surprise, but I've now learned how to do a multimedia ebook. Literally, you're reading the ebook and all of a sudden the video pops up. All of a
Mhm.
sudden, yeah. So I'm really excited. They take a little more effort to produce, but I've developed something to do that. And so it's exciting. So this book's going to come out in that third form. That'll be on the 27th. That's supposed to drop. And but right now, go to pancake.com. You can go do that, and you can get uh, a bonus of getting the song, the Survivor's Anthem, Flying with Angels. Uh, and then as of tomorrow, this time, you'll be able to go to Amazon and order a paperback if you'd like. And also
Good.
get a copy of Atlantic Crossing. You might enjoy it. It's
Well, it's already done. It's right here on my notes. Um, what you just produced, I mean, this whole podcast, we created some clips, and so all the clips that I have, I will send to you for your YouTube channel that you will
oh,
need.
okay. Thank
Um,
you. Thank you
and
so much.
so I will do that. I'm also going to add this podcast to Spotify.
Awesome. Yeah, I could lift you. I need someone to do that kind of engineering because I'm doing so much creative stuff. But I can say this: I really like the fact that you said come on anytime. So maybe we coordinate something, collaborate. So when I do the, as we produce for the channel, at least
Yes,
a portion of that show can always be part on your show. We'll just deliver it through there, and they can see the rest on my channel. You know,
guaranteed. All right, cool. I like that.
we can cross feed each other's getting this
Hmm.
out. You know, and yeah, I'll talk to you offline. But I'm really stuck with this survivor's anthem. I'm going to send it to you right after the phone call. And I think after
Please
you
do.
hear it, you may tell me, yeah, brother, we can help this go viral. It's meant to do a lot of healing. And that changes the frequency of the planet, you know, and we're taking it for the women, you know, the mothers of humanity. And that's what men need to face. That's a fact. You know, women are the mothers of humanity. And mothers have a certain rank in existence itself.
Hmm.
And we must honor
Love
them.
that.
The Bible says, honor thy mother and thy father, right? But are they
Hmm.
honoring the mother? You're certainly not honoring the mother by what's going on, what's been happening with the misogyny in this country for so long and still going on. Muhammad said, the young man came to Muhammad and asked him, prophet of God, people say I'm doing the right thing, but I want to know what can I do better and who should I honor? He says, your mother. The young man went away. Make the story short for the folks and close with this. The young man came back 3 times. He said, your mother, your mother, your mother. It wasn't until the fourth time the young man came back, and this was over some significant intervals. He said, now your father.
Hmm.
So anyone who thinks that philosophy or that religion, I don't like that word, but that understanding is oppresses women, no, that's Islam that they're
Yes.
practicing, not Islam. It's Islam that they're
Hmm.
practicing in Islam. But Islam means to connect to the divine. And he was very specific, your mother, your mother, your mother, now your father.
Wow. It's That's deep. It. I wrote. I'll actually. I wrote this poem called "Me and That Woman," and so when I end up speaking and reciting that poem, I go, "Man, that woman, man, that woman," right? And it
Mhm.
all goes back to all the strong women in my life,
Mm.
and I would say, "Man, that woman," and it just, yeah,
Can I bring
5 stars to you, Preem. I just
let,
am
let, let,
so. Go ahead.
let me just give you one last thing. I don't keep saying it, but no, because we're on this way. It's so important for anyone who's listening because we talk about dreams, we're talking about frequency, but energy and also interpretation beyond words.
Hmm.
Now, Muhammad said that before there was any genetic knowledge. But when I started doing this during my art shows because most of my art is about the divine feminine. So I do a lot of pictures of Madonna pictures of women. And I usually bring a woman up because this is going to go right back to human centric watch. So you can imagine, I hope the audience listening can imagine this. So I'm there, they're looking at the art, but you get to the time for the art talk. And I usually ask for a woman to volunteer. And then I ask the question, for humanity to continue, do you need a man and a woman? Yes? They say
Yeah.
yes. And I tell them what this quote of Muhammad. I said, so, but we have a way that we quantumly or algebraically or genetically represent that. So you need a man and a woman. So you have what? And I point to the woman. Someone will get and go XX. And I point to myself and they go XY. Your mother, your mother, your mother, now your father.
Mm.
So the very nature of our existence is 3 parts: the feminine or the creative, al khalaq, the
Yeah.
creative; 1 part, the yang,
Hmm.
masculine. And that's the balance, because it's not about equality, it's about balance. And we know that everything in life we're taught with basic biology seeks homeostasis, it seeks balance. Well, balance means to be in coherence. So
Mm-mm-mm.
I hope people will find that the book helps them to do that as it's helped me.
Unbelievable. My deep, deep, deep family. You are definitely.
You can blame my dad, blame your father too.
Yeah. Get your
I was under
dad's smile. You get your
the
dad's beard. And, yeah, I mean,
I know I look
perfect.
like him. This is because of the movie. I can't wait to get it off. It's pretty good effort. I have to shoot tomorrow a movie that I started 2 years ago. I had to get the look back, and I have this big crazy wig that goes
Yeah,
on with this character, but
no,
he's all about the human centric though. Even though
I
he's down on everything's going down for him. But yeah, so that's why I look like this. It'll soon be
hey,
trimmed up.
you are always beautiful no matter what, you know. So
Mashallah. Thank you,
you,
brother. Thank you, cousin.
yeah,
Well, this has been an honor for me to be on your show and you give us this time. And I'm going to pledge right now in the intention of my heart to be more in contact so that we can even work together and push what you're doing further. And of course, people are listening. I've been listening to my cousin's music here. He's doing some really good stuff. That
thank you,
beautiful poetry he writes, he's now putting it to some great vibrations. And I listened to one of his blues ones, and I used to do a lot of blues singing, and I really love it. So I recommend that you follow him on Spotify or wherever he's doing it. I'm sure he'll announce it, but I'm enjoying it.
thank you, thank you. It means a lot. Definitely means a lot from you because you are one of the most artistic people I know in my life, and I know you have that craft behind you with music, and so that means a lot.
That's beautiful.
Um,
Well, primo,
all right.
primo. I have to say ciao, ciao, right?
Yes. Love you. And everyone, my man, my cousin, definitely doing great, great things. Continue to follow him. Um, is definitely the website right there on the bottom line. His manager, the number. I know you all are going to look at this, but please, first and foremost, support. Support everyone around you. Stop liking everyone's post. Please share their post, especially when it's very, very essential. And Ali DeSousa is essential to us.
Oh,
And
okay,
you
don't
just keep
stop me.
on, you know. So, all right, we will be back next Tuesday with another guest. I will announce that. But join me tomorrow on Sometimes You Have to Lose Yourself podcast with myself and my co host Marvin Speller, as we call him Coach M100. And you talk about love and grief. Love and grief. Grief is always around you. It's definitely, it's not just life. It can be things you're grieving, just on normal things, a job, something. Grief is around us, and Marvin is definitely someone that experienced it as we all do. But he was married to my cousin. She passed away with cancer, and that was his soulmate. And now he's trying to reach 1 million people. And the podcast does that. He wrote a book called Unpacking Grief, Shattered to Onward. And that's what he tries to do every single day. So join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 o'clock um, Pacific, and we will be here on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Ali, boa noite. I love you. You
Yeah, yeah,
and
well,
we'll talk. We'll
okay,
talk soon. Take
okay.
care.
Ciao.
God bless. Ciao. All right, everyone. Thank you. Please join me tomorrow. I can't wait. Marvin got some good things. Guy has some questions for him. We're going to talk about a few things, but it's mainly love and grief. And but we will be on tomorrow at 6 p.m. All right, everyone. Take care. God bless.